Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Viv.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Bronze.
It is Thursday, the 10th of July, 2025. Storm in a Teacup, episode 22.
I think there's a little bit of a problem with my connection, so I'm finding it difficult. I'm waiting for a gap before I talk, basically. But there's been so much going on, and I said to Bronze before we started, I think I need to pick me up this week, so I'm relying on you two, because I'm normally the one that says, "Oh, come on, it's all right, we're gonna win this battle." But I'm really feeling down at the moment with everything that's going on, and for me, I can't stop thinking about this whole Epstein thing and what it means and what's going on, what games are getting played, and
well, this is a big factor of it for me. It's the emotional assault, isn't it? It's just everyone's emotions are just being completely turned upside down by this, and I think that's really something you've got to try and resist. Because you got to try and sort out what can you take as fact and what is just noise, and there's so much noise at the moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but even the facts are that, Pam Bondi's come out and said that line that she said, and we can pull apart the sentence and say, oh well, she didn't say this. It's still her coming out and playing a game, and that's the conclusion I came to, because it's so obvious when we can pull things up that weren't that long ago. I think it's a couple of weeks ago or whatever it is, where she says the list is on my desk. I'm just waiting for the right time, or whatever the case was there, for it to be turned on its head, and for them to come out and look at the camera and say, no, there is nothing, what are you talking about? And then Trump to say, oh, you guys are still concerned about this Epstein fella. Like, we're either being taken for absolute fools, and I mean the whole planet, or that was meant to be obviously stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think it does seem to be some deliberate misdirection here for sure. But I mean, what is the overall effect? I mean, you can look at it one or two ways. You can look at it as Trump and his administration are basically just trying to put it to bed, which is what the narrative seems to be coming out. It's like, oh yeah, there's nothing here. Forget about it. It's done. Just move on. Or you can look at it like the other way, like there's some really, they're playing some very deep game. And if you take the first instance, it's like, well, so what? So this effectively comes back to Trump in the end. Is he playing us? Is he for real? Is he genuine? Do we still trust him? If you take that side of things, then you have to say no. Why, if there's nothing to see here, why did Jeffrey Epstein get arrested and put in jail? Why did Ghislaine Maxwell get arrested? What were they put in jail for? And now to turn around and say, no, there's nothing here, forget about it. That doesn't add up. But then you can take the other side and say, okay, this could be a big play. They're making a big play here, and one thing that it has achieved, it's really put the whole issue in the public spotlight more so than it's ever been. Everybody is talking about it. We're talking about it. It's lit up social media. It's just shouting and screaming, and no matter what side of the spectrum they're on, everyone's talking about it. You've even got the opposite sides, the Democrats calling for the released. You've got everybody now asking for transparency and for these things to be released.
The roles have been reversed, as you say. It's the ones that were calling for it to be quietened up now are the loudest voices for it to be opened up. And so you've got the likes of NSNBC. You've got I don't listen to those news channels, so I forget what the bad news channels are called. But all those bad news channels, they're all calling for it to be, and none of it makes sense. It's who like, we're educated people and we're talking about this. So this monumental game that's getting played. Let's narrow. Who's this game getting played for then?
Well, okay. One possibility is that maybe there are this is Maybe there are things which need to be sorted out, okay? Because I mean, when Trump used to talk about draining the swamp, and we used to hear about the plan, and he's going to be doing this, he's going to be taking down the deep state, but he's going to be doing it by the book. He's going to be doing it legally. He's going to be doing it constitutionally. Everything's got to be right. There may well still be some obstacles down the road in this. That they're thinking, okay, well, we really want to get this done. We really, really want to do this properly, but we can still see some possible roadblocks down the road. So we can't really go ahead with it right now. We need to sort out these other issues first, but it's in the public consciousness. And that is exactly what has happened. That's one positive. I don't know if that's me thinking about it as something that possibly makes sense. It could just be a case of we really, really need to make sure we get this right. I mean, they've had all of the activist judges trying to block the way over the whole the ICE thing and the mass removal of migrants, and so the judiciary is still not completely cleaned out, and there could be people still within that system which they see as, okay, we need to get these people sorted first before we can progress with this, because they could derail it. And also, let's not forget that this was a leaked memo, right? Apparently, it was from the DOJ stroke FBI, and it was leaked to this Axios, who I don't know much about, but they're apparently a bit of not the most media companies. Apparently, the actual memo that's released didn't have any dates or any signatures on it. It wasn't on official headed paper, and all of these little details. So yeah. I mean, Cash and Dan Bongino did come out. Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, they did come out a few months ago to everyone's surprise and saying, yeah, we believe Epstein killed himself. And now they've basically kind of backed this up and said, yeah, nothing to see here. I mean, another possible aspect of this is that the guilty parties in this, they may want to make sure that they don't get away. And by taking this line, they may be making them feel a bit more safe, rather than them trying to disappear somewhere where they can't be extradited from and tried. Maybe this will make them feel a bit more secure and think, oh, okay, the heat's not quite as bad as I thought it was. It could be many things. It could be many things.
Yeah. Does it matter? I'm thinking about it. The issue here is that Epstein, who we have been told killed himself, but a lot of people believe he didn't. Does that matter, though? Does it matter if the list is still out there?
Well, yes. I don't think it does. I mean, it's quite possible that this is all about the client list, all right, and the speculation that it's been destroyed. Right. But that doesn't. I mean, do you remember Trump said we have it all? Okay, if you have it all, you have it all. You either have it all, or you don't have it all. Was that bullshit? And just to kind of play devil's advocate, it's he does exaggerate about things sometimes. He said, "Oh, I'll sort out the Ukraine war in 24 hours." No, that hasn't happened, has it? So,
no,
So, do they have it all? If they have it all, whether there's a list or not, it doesn't matter. What is a list? Is it a list of names on a file in the computer or on a piece of paper? That doesn't mean anything. If they know the people are guilty, then that's not evidence, is it? Having some names on a bit of paper. The evidence is actual.
No, but that's getting to the semantics of what the word "a list" means, and I guess I'm saying I'm sick of all that shit. It's just when the general. It's not that they're looking for a list. They're looking for the evidence of rich people being involved in some pedophilic, satanistic, bowel worshipping, evil thing that a lot of us have spoke about for years, but believe that the rest of the public haven't got the stomach to hear it. it's really rotten stuff that I believe I've seen is happening in the world, and it's really, really rotten stuff. And it's just as I keep saying, every day is another day where someone's getting kidnapped, some little child is in the streets, and these little games. I get, obviously, I get that this is spy versus spy, and this is way deeper than any of us can imagine. But this part of it with this possibly the worst ever, I think this of all time. I think we'll probably agree that this is going to be he is the biggest pervert of all time. Well, we can't just be playing around with this.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I mean, Trump himself, he's never really been the one talking about Epstein. It's been everybody else who's been talking about it. I mean, I guess a lot of that maybe came from the Q drops. And so Trump's never been the one pushing that. Even when he talked about declass, he didn't mention Epstein. He talked about JFK. He talked about Robert Kennedy. He talked about Martin Luther King. He didn't say Epstein. So he's kind of, never really been the one pushing all of this. A whole lot of it is just speculation, online speculation, people talking about it all the time.
Sorry, totally agree with you. But the thing is, I was going to say, yeah, thanks. I was going to say that the likes of you and I, though, we know that, or believe that if Q was real, then that Trump was involved with Q. And I would say the main factor of Q was talking about Epstein Island and what was going on and the bigger picture of that. So it was a main, so I right or wrong, I believe it's possibly the top thing on his list to do, as well as world peace and all the other things he claims he's going to sort out. But I would say this is quite high up.
Yeah, I mean, you said something, you used a phrase there, which is quite pertinent. You said Epstein Island and the bigger picture. Okay. And maybe Epstein isn't, I don't think Epstein's the top player in this. I think he's just a puppet in the pyramid as well. And maybe it is the top players they're going after, the type of people who none of us have probably ever heard of, that the names are not out there. They're not the ones being talked about online or in conspiracy circles or even by Q. And so maybe those, the ones right at the top, who are the ones who really need to be taken out, these games have to be played. We don't know. We don't understand. We know we don't understand. And I think that's probably, you just need to kind of, whether you think, the Trump and his administration are now using covering up for something, or whether you think this is a deeper game and it's that they are doing the right thing and you just got to sort of bide your time and see how this plays out. It's just, I don't think you can sort of jump in and really just get really worked up. I don't think that helps at all. It's like, it is what it is. We don't have control over it. We're just sitting here looking at all the fallout of it. So what can we do? Getting emotionally involved and wound up and wasting energy on it is kind of not really going to make any difference,
Fair one. Yeah, that's a fair one. I'd say also, I suppose my worry is, and I know this is bad, especially coming from an ex-squaddy, but I've got a really bad feeling that this is the British Empire fighting for survival, and that a lot of what Trump's fighting, a lot of the wars, the endless wars. I've got a really sick feeling in my stomach that it's it's that line from the bad guys. If I'm right, he's playing a game against the deep state. Oh, sorry, yeah, that's what I was going to say. It makes me also think about the whole shooting of Trump. Still today, I give it these thoughts and think, you can't fake that. It had to have been real, but I don't think it was real. And then I go back to the faking it, and I think, America's known for Hollywood. They're possibly even faking the whether you believe that or not is irrelevant. They're very good at special effects and TV and entertaining us, and Q said it's all a show, and enjoy the show, eat your popcorn, whatever it was. Is everything like how do you do that? Did he pay $1,000? Did they pay 1,000 people to be in the crowd, and they told them, all right, we're going to pretend I'm getting shot now, I want you all to look. And did they do some special effects? And I'll go back to my question earlier, who's this game for? Is this for a world stage? And so let's pretend it's the British Empire, that they believe he's getting shot at, and they believe Doge is doing this, that and the other, and they believe that the Epstein file is covered up. Is this some big against the banks, against the British Empire?
No idea.
We're fucked.
Well, I don't know. Are we? I mean, we're fucked anyway. We're fucked where we are at the moment. But yeah, I mean, we kind of we've talked about this whole thing. We've touched on it previously. I mean, when you talked about being in the army and serving the, you served the Queen at your time, and we know that that's a a bad setup. I mean, we have talked about it. So it's no surprise to me that the Crown or the British Empire, whatever forces are behind that, could well be the bad guys in this. That's like, yeah, okay, didn't we kind of know that already?
Fair one, yeah. I suppose it's yeah. Where do we go from this? Oh my word! And is that why we've got so much problems on our streets? Is this being made so that our royalty and our government have to look inwards and can't play all these games with world wars and stuff, perhaps? But either way, it's what I worry, that our lives are going to get, because we're just the pawns in the way, I'm afraid.
Well, we knew it was going to be a bumpy ride. We knew it was going to get bumpy, and these are the bumps. I don't know. I mean, you just have to kind of sort of take it on the chin, try not to get too emotionally wound up about it. I think, because like I said, it's yeah. I mean, is it a show? I mean, does this bring doubt into your mind about the whole Q thing now? 4D as a self-proclaimed big Q believer.
Sorry, I suppose that's the scary thing for me. For the first time after all these years, I'm starting to question what the heck I'm putting my time and effort into. Yeah. I suppose it's like you said. It proves it's a clever way to get us all emotionally attached to this, and so it's brought it out, and everyone's talking about it. I just well, yeah, no, that's as simple as it is. I suppose I did get very emotional about it. How can you not get emotional? I suppose that's the point. The subject we're talking about is possibly one of the most emotional subjects any of us can dive into, and it's a very so none of us want to be played, even though we talk about it every week, and we know there's games being played that we have no idea about. It's a very frightening game to be involved in. It's literally the Hunger Games, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean. The enemy scenario is devious. They are very devious, and problems. The roots, the tentacles run very deep, and they run very wide. And to play a devious game, to battle against devious opponents, you have to be set a thief to catch a thief. It's that kind of mentality. So sometimes you have to get your hands dirty to deal with these situations. And I think maybe that could be an aspect of it as well. It's like, but yeah, I mean, I was when I first heard them talk about that, there's nothing to see here about Epstein. I got emotion as well. It affected me emotionally. Of course it did. I think everyone felt one way or another about it emotionally. But that's like why they talk about the 72-hour rule, don't they? It's like wait till the emotions subside, and then your rationality can kick back in, and then you can maybe be a bit more sensible about it.
Yeah. What in fact, it's always look over here, look over there. So what else was going on, perhaps, that we should have paid more attention to? What else has been in the news this week?
Well, that's a very good. Another aspect of it, it could be a massive distraction from something else. It's not just the bad guys who play that game. And also, I mean, this also could be a big. I mean, Trump was doing a lot of good things on the world stage. The whole thing in the Middle East seems to be progressing. He seems to be doing good things with the economy. He's deporting illegals. He seems to have sort of reasonably good popularity numbers. And so this could have been a deep state ploy just to try and derail that, try and stop the momentum. But yeah, a distraction from something else. Okay, yeah. So what else has been going on in the world?
France.
Oh, I was muted. France. Yeah, I was going to say, and I suppose P. Diddy, which is also very similar to the Epstein thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
What about France, Viv?
Yeah. The new Entente Cordiale, the King going over there, people meeting up with Macron. I mean, it seems to me it's the last gasp of the technocrats, really. Macron's a busted flush. Really. The idea, the whole migrant idea is silly. What is this one in, one out business? That the numbers don't change, do they? In that if that's a mathematical equation, one in, one out.
It worked out to 17 in, one out. I think in the end.
Yeah, I've seen both of those. I've seen one in, one out, and I've seen 17 in, one out. And either way, they're both nonsense. So it's just all bullshit. It really is just all absolute just nonsense crap. It's not worth even, Starmer's probably having a fucking threesome with Macron and his husband, while all of this is going on. So who knows? It's just, yeah. And the king now coming out, the so-called king, the quote unquote king, he's getting political as well. He's talking about, well, we have no borders now. And it's like, oh, for God's sake, just go away. Just go away. Stop interfering.
What a ridiculous thing for a king to say. For a king to say we have no borders.
Well, he has aspirations. The king has aspirations. The so-called king has aspirations to a more of a global role. I mean, because don't forget, we think, oh, he's the king of the United Kingdom, but he's also the king of the Commonwealth, or certainly a figurehead for the Commonwealth. He's always had this global outlook. He's looking outward. I mean, I'm afraid this island of ours has been put down for so long that even the king doesn't believe in it. Just
yeah, I mean, when you thought of her, Queen Elizabeth II never got political, but this king seems to be hell bent on getting political, which is not his role at all.
No, it isn't. No. He's a figurehead, of course. He's meant to be a figurehead. He was, through the centuries, the monarchy has been diminished to a mere figurehead, or so we say. I mean, after all, though, having said that, we are a constitutional monarchy rather than a democracy, which people never really seem to grasp.
How would you define a constitutional monarchy, Viv? What does that mean?
Well, that's what we're always told. We're always told that the country isn't, well, not always, but the country is a constitutional monarchy rather than. So, how do I define it? Well, it's about the prime parliament.
Well, I mean, do we? I believe we don't actually have a written constitution, do we? Not like the United States. We don't actually have a document where things are written down, do we? Or do we?
We sort of have we do have the Bill of Rights from 1888, and we have the Magna Carta as well. But yeah, it's constitutional monarchy is limited monarchy. It's parliamentary monarchy. So the monarch is supposed to exercise authority in accord with the Constitution. Now, it's interesting you say that we have a Constitution, but he can't make decisions on his own which affect the entire country. That's essentially what it is. Absolute monarchies are where the king rules. What the king says goes. So he's the only decision maker, but that's not a constitutional monarchy as such.
Yeah. So we're still
we're held to ransom by Parliament. Yeah. As a result of the Civil War by the King. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Instead of being held to ransom by a despotic single ruler, we're held to ransom by a bunch of criminals.
That's right. Yeah.
And so basically, all the parliaments of the world, i.e., I suppose Australian Parliament, the Canadian Parliament, does it? So that's how this constitutional monarchy operates, is where the king is in charge, but each of the parliaments he can't change things without the power of each of the different parliaments.
Yeah, that's right. Basically, yeah. I mean, he's supposed to. There's supposed to be a veneer of democracy over all this. He's a sovereign who reigns, but does not essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, okay, that's a good distinction. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Macaulay, his historian. Yeah, he's
well. I mean,
he's a symbolic figurehead, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, certain things have to be okayed by him, don't they? But that's just a formality. It's not like he's going to say no to anything. It's more just sort of ritual, isn't it? Really, rather than anything meaningful.
Yes. Yeah. Really.
I mean, all of this fucking confusion, and this could be a sign. This could be a sign which things are starting to change. Things are being exposed. The cockroaches are scurrying. They're being exposed to the light. So that could be one way of looking at it. It may not be all doom and gloom. This could just be necessary kind of confusion and aggravation that has to go through when systems or anything kind of breaks down for something better. It's change, isn't it? Change comes with upheaval, and this is most definitely upheaval.
I've
never been good with change, to be fair. So
no, indeed.
Well, change is inevitable. You can't. Change just happens. You can't stop a change happening. That's a force of nature, isn't it? But I suppose you can affect it. You can affect it somehow or other, but you can't stop things changing. You can make things change, but you can't stop them from changing.
Yes.
I don't even know if we have much.
Sorry,
I interrupted, Viv. I was going to say I don't think we even have much of an effect, even.
Well,
I don't think we do.
Maybe
not
individually.
No.
But we should be able to. Well, I mean, I think we do. We have the we have the capacity to do that, but we've been lulled, we've been dumbed down, we've been beaten down. So nobody really has much of a chance standing up unless all of us stand up, or a significant majority of us.
That's quite right. I think that we. Of course, the group is stronger than the individual. Even the ideas, there's various views of history, but there's a great man theory of history. In that one man, like Hitler, Napoleon, etc., changes the course of history, or is involved in on their own. But that depends on your view, really. Depends on your view. The French Revolution, which preceded Napoleon, was a mass uprising. And it led to this one man. But,
one man on his own can't do anything, but one man can be the catalyst to get enough people and energized to do it. I think that's the key. So,
yeah.
And that's where we get back to the likes of Tommy Robinson for us back here in the UK. I think he is one of those kinds of people that people will flock to, luckily.
Yeah, you're going to mention something about the Irish there, 4D.
Yes, I see they're in the news today because they've made a massive bonfire, and at the top of the bonfire there's an effigy of a boat filled with migrants, and it's got they've put a big sign on it saying service personnel before immigrants, and it's going to get burnt. I didn't pay attention to when it was that the fire's going to be lit, but obviously everyone's going crazy about you can't burn an effigy of migrants in a boat, and their reply to that was, you didn't say that when they were burning effigies of Trump, so I think it's all right. So
yeah, this is in Northern Ireland. I think it's on the 12th. It's something that they celebrate. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, it's a huge bonfire. It's like it's like the size of a couple of 2 or 3 story house with this boat on top with these effigies of migrants in it. And of course, all the usual people are coming out saying, "Oh, that's racist. You can't do that." So yeah, that's caused a bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing construction. To be honest, it's really quite amazing.
It's like a small town.
It's made of pallets. It's like a small town block. It's made of pallets. These are pallets, and they're painted different colours, and it is quite amazing. It is for the 12th. For the 12th, the 12th commemorates Battle of the Boyne.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, where are all the eco warriors coming out and saying, "Oh, what about the environment? All that smoke." They're nowhere to be seen, are they?
They're performative. They're just performative. They're employed by the state. They're state agents. But no, it's to commemorate. It's essentially a Protestant. It's just kind of celebration, and then there's a parade. There's a season of parades that the Protestants in Northern Ireland take part in.
Right,
but it's defeat. It's about the defeat of a Catholic monarch, King William the Third. Yeah.
Like King William III of Britain.
Yes.
Right.
Defeated a Catholic king, the Catholic king, James, the James II. Yeah.
Right.
So it's about it's kind of sectarian, really. It's calmed down a bit, but there used to be it was seen as an anti-Catholic. It's part of the old struggle over there between the two tribes.
Yeah, well, it's all been made about the migrants, isn't it? It seems like the sectarian issues have taken a back seat to these new issues everyone's facing.
Yeah, of course. It all just seems, I don't know what to think, really. It all seems a show. It's a show. It's just, really crazy. Yeah. I don't know if it does any harm nowadays, does it? I don't know. Not sure, really. It must. It's obviously going to aggravate certain Catholic groups. Of course. So, I don't know.
Well, I presume it's something they do every year, so it's not like it's a one-off thing. It's probably the same.
Oh, it's every year, yeah. It's every year, yeah. Every year.
The thing is that they're taking a stand on what is now a common issue, and whether you're a Catholic, a Protestant, whether you're on the right or on the left. Going back to this, what's all these jokes? What's all these things about? I mean, I suppose it's a clever thing to put the effigy about, because it if you're a local person and you've got a problem with your Catholics or your Protestants or something, suddenly that's insignificant because you've all got a problem with what's going on in your country.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we saw that a few months ago when they were marching in Ireland, and for the first time, the Protestants and the Catholics marched together over the common issue. My enemy's enemy is my friend, type of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just carrying through here.
Yeah, indeed.
We've got the very very beautiful Alex having a go at Shia. Did you hear that, Viv?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That seems to have gone worldwide now, and I think she said some really good things that all of us agree with.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your crush, isn't it, for the Alex Phillips?
Yeah.
No, I mean, if Khan goes, I just see him as it's like we think, oh, get rid of Khan, everything will be all right, but no, it won't, because they're all following certain globalist rules. I mean, Khan is head of whatever you want to call it, is C50 or is it C100 now? The Global Mayors Alliance. We can see the mayor thing is spreading this idea of local control. The globalists are spreading their tentacles. In East Anglia, they want to make a huge unitary authority with one mayor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been the globalist plan to divide countries up into regions over which they have control and they can put their own people. So Khan is a placeman. If he goes, someone else will take his place. It's the system. It's not the individual. Khan is annoying. He's really annoying, but someone will come in and still impose the speed limit, still impose nut zero, still impose the restrictions on ordinary people working even. Still import lots of slave labor and trafficked people.
Yeah.
So it won't end. It's not going to end with Khan. It'd be good if he's gone. Be great, but
Well, no, you're spot on, Viv. So yeah, and like you say, whoever they get to replace him, this is London, right? Where, I mean, we have certain people talking about running for mayor, people like Ant Middleton who look quite promising, but these people are never going to get voted in. It's either going to be a Tory or a Labour, and they're going to be more. It's going to be more of the same, if not worse. Fortunately.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing needs to be abolished, in my view. The entire mayor thing. In fact, the whole system needs to come down. And if we can't bring it down by peaceful means, then we have to somehow remove ourselves from it, and so they can't touch us.
I'm sat here thinking about J.D. Vance's words when he said it won't be long before the Middle East have their nuclear power, and whatever it was he said, he was referring to us being that person. And maybe we should be talking about, maybe we should be paying more attention to that line. Is it when we talk about the deep state, or when I talk about this country being the bad people, as it were? Is it not? Is it taken over by another religion? And we go back to Khan and this, because he seems to have a power that is beyond almost the PM. He seems to be able to talk down to women when they're talking to him in court situations. He seems to have this chip on his shoulder that nothing can harm him. Things are getting really bad in this country. I wonder if he's one of the main players in this kind of the names that we never hear about, or sort of thing, where he's one of them that's bringing us down from the inside. Obviously, if he's mayor of London, that's the capital city of England. It's a powerful place to be in. Let's not forget that he's not our religion, and I mean nothing disrespectful to any religion other than saying that it's not our religion.
No, this is true. It shouldn't necessarily matter. But if Khan goes, like I say, there'll be someone else like Khan. It may be they may be Christian, and then would everything be all right then? No, it wouldn't.
Well, in the last, I mean, in the last election for mayor, the Conservative candidate was Susan Hall, who ran against him, and I kind of wonder, would it have been any better under her? She talks a good game, and she's the one who tries to hold him account in the London Assembly, and she's the one he really just talks down to all the time, really disgracefully. But it's like it's establishment, isn't it? I mean, she may have got in. I mean, but Boris Johnson was mayor of London. He was crap as well, and he was a Tory. And Susan Hall is a confirmed Tory. If she got in, would it have been much better? Probably not.
Doesn't matter. There'll be someone else.
No, that's right. They choose who they want. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all placed. They're all placed, and it's cleverly done.
Yeah.
Done through a huge network of NGOs, a huge network. The Take Common Purpose, they're busy putting people in place. There are loads of other groups. I'll post something up later tonight on my stack, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe the weekend. I don't know. Of groups you've never heard of, and you look at it and you think, well, really? And then you look at their backers and you think, and these are corporations, these are NGOs, these are globalist groups. And this is how they run things.
Yeah, I mean, the Mayor of London is...
that's how they do it. That's how they work.
Yeah, I mean, the Mayor of London is supposedly the one who runs, is in control of the police, but he or she, whoever it may be, is beholden to someone else. Someone else is pulling their strings above them, who's not elected, who's not accountable, who's not any of these things. So,
and this is the network. This is the huge network. It's not even one person. I'm not a believer in the great men of history theory. It's a huge network of people that have been programmed to support the deleterious policies which are affecting this country and many other countries. It's a globalist coup. They've wanted it for years, and they're putting it in place.
Yeah, they're trying.
Well, they're trying.
This is the crux of the matter, isn't it? I mean, this system is so pervasive and so powerful. The only way it's going to come to an end is going to be very, very difficult for everybody. Everyone's going to suffer for this to come to an end. We're going to suffer either way. We're going to suffer if it continues, or we're going to suffer if it comes to an end, because everything's going to have to come crashing down. Everything's going to have to be dismantled and rebuilt.
We're suffering. Yeah, exactly. We're suffering now.
I don't think we're being told the truth about how much in debt we are either. I think there's a lot more to be said for what's happened to our buying power, actually, and I think they're not telling us.
Totally.
Well,
totally.
Yeah, I mean, apparently the UK is meant to be something like the 5th or the 6th largest economy in the world. But the UK is broke. It's the city of London, which is the 5th or 6th largest economy in the world. It's not the UK. It's the city of London. The UK is broke. The UK is absolutely bankrupt. There's so much deprivation in this country now. There's no money. There's no money here.
No. Gosh, this is a downer, isn't it? But it's the truth. It's the reality. Yeah.
It is hard to ignore. It's hard to swerve it, really. I mean, we ignorance is bliss, as I say, and we're not ignorant. So what can you do? Eh?
Yeah.
Well, and also on a spiritual level, do you not find, or I certainly have found, that people around me, and me included, seem to be going through our own personal low points at the moment. Whenever I speak to someone, they're something really big or desperate or things are going on in people's lives that are quite big. So there's this spiritual thing that I started to look into because of Q, getting involved in the whole positive mental attitude and all that sort of thing. But this idea that from a biblical point of view, everyone seems to be going through their own last of days, and it's a very scary thing for me who doesn't believe in God. But it does seem that everyone's going through a challenge at the moment.
Yes, I agree with you. There's a weird sense of, like, pretty much the party's over, people. The party's over. You've had it good, and you don't. People are living on credit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there's a couple of things going on. People now are not taught discipline with finances, and we've spoke about this before. Money isn't really something most people carry. I always have money on me now, or I always have had money on me. I always do. I feel like I can't look after myself if I haven't got at least a fiver in my wallet. But people, this new generation, they haven't really grown up with money. They've not been taught discipline with money. everything's on credit. You know, when I grew up, I could see the coins in my hand. I knew 10 pence for this sweet and 10 pence for that sweet. I knew that I didn't have much left over, sort of thing. You know, you get to understand what money is, but they didn't.
Yeah.
This computer generation, they have had they have an upbringing that we had. So you kind of think, we've done this to ourselves. It's not their fault. They have no idea what it is to save. I see it on the streets around me. No one saves, or we'll just go on a holiday and we'll pay for that next year. No one really thinks what that means next year.
Look, money has become abstract for a lot of people. It's not concrete. You know, I reach into my pocket, I feel the notes, I think, yeah, that's not too bad. I look at the notes, I think, yeah, that'll last a certain amount of time. But with a card, you don't know. You just don't know. You know, it's the magic money tree, isn't it? Oh, it'll keep on going. That's fine. I'll just extend my credit. That's all right. And the banks encourage it. The banksters encourage it, of course.
Yeah, and I don't think people realise that there are a lot of people who've never been on holiday, for instance. You know, again, there's this idea that all Brits, there's no such thing as poverty in Britain, but you want to go to Manchester, Liverpool, Portsmouth, Southampton, all these they're in absolute poverty. I don't know many people that go away more than a couple of times in their lifetime. So
I know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a mate of mine, he got jabbed, and I said, why did you do it? He said, oh, because we're planning a trip to America. And he said, are you going to get it? I said, no. He said, well, what if you want to travel? I said, I'll wait until it all calms down. I don't have any plans to travel at the moment anyway. And of course, it all did calm down, and now we can travel again. It's like, and guess what? He's got this shit flowing through his body, and I don't. So, what was the point of that?
Yeah. I know. Just popping out. I won't be a minute. I'm not going to get a peeler.
No, it's a customary Viv interlude. I can see a picture of someone fashioning a bit of pottery on a potter's wheel now while Viv is gone. But yeah, I mean the whole credit card thing, I never got that. It's like, why? So, you know, if I don't have the money, then I can't afford to spend it. So you give me a credit card to spend money I don't have, and then I end up having to pay back more in the long run anyway. And of course the banks encourage it because they get money out of it. they're coining it in with all of that. I had a credit card once, like years and years ago. I got an offer and I thought, oh yeah, I'll try it. And I had it, and I think I used it once, and I thought, this is, and then you know, you have to pay this much back by the end of the month. If you don't, then you have to pay it back plus interest after. And I just thought, what's the point of that? You know, if I can afford it, I can afford it. If I can't, I can't. End of story. You know,
I've only ever owned one credit card in my life, and it was when I got my mortgage. I was kind of forced to get a credit card, but I was too scared to use it. The one credit card I've ever owned, I never used it because I was different. I didn't understand the concept of not seeing the money or spending what I had today. You know, that didn't compute to me, so it was too scary for me. I was the opposite way around.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. The whole concept is just crazy to me. It's just, you know, it's really crazy. I mean, I did meet a guy once years back, and he played this whole game, and it's like I could never do it, right? But it's this whole kind of circular thing where you have all these credit cards, several credit cards, and you keep transferring it constantly from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So you're on this constant merry-go-round of just transferring all this debt from one credit card to another, which seems just like, what are you doing? You know, what the kind of stress you have to go through just to maintain that. It's like, you know, juggling plates or something. It's just stupid.
It's a full-time job, isn't it?
Yeah,
it was a game. It's like a game to them. I think that it's like going to the casino to them. It's just like, oh yeah, let's now put it on this one, and we'll now play with this one. But I knew a guy doing that, and he seemed comfortable with what he was doing, but never paying anything off, and the debt just going up to me. It seemed stupid.
Yeah, but they want digital currency. That's what they want, digital currency. We know that.
Yeah,
because they make money off of it. You know, every digital transaction they skim off of it. And so you know,
they do. They
just
do from
making money.
everything. They do in contract law. They do that. Everything it goes into your trust fund. We're getting closer to cracking a trust fund.
Oh yeah,
I
keep
was
us
about to say
updated.
his name. Yeah, we're getting closer to cracking this. It's a lot of
good.
work. I haven't even started, but yeah. They every transaction, every contract makes them money. It doesn't matter if it's physical or digital cash. I think they want control as well. They want control over the monetary system. I mean, they've got control, but even deeper control. Once money's just a series of noughts and ones on a screen, then the sky's your limit.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, just that just made me think. Did you hear that Jerome Powell is going to resign from the Federal Reserve? I heard that. I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah,
and that and Trump's putting them under a lot of pressure as well. So that could have quite large implications with regards to the whole financial situation, I think.
It's all got to come down, as far as I'm concerned. You know, it would just be replaced. It would be replaced with someone else. It'd be replaced with someone else, another placeman or placewoman who do the same things.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, not if they do some fundamental changes to what the Federal Reserve is and how it operates. I don't.
Well, I think
really
the banking
know.
system. I think they've been playing around with us for too long, and I genuinely believe it's got to the point. They knew this about 50 years ago, for instance, that it was going to spiral out of control, and they couldn't stop it, and they didn't know what to do. And I think we're at this point now that it will never be the same. Whatever system, whatever way out we're going to go to, I don't think it's going to be anything like anything that we know now, because I think this idea of debt, this idea of interest, this idea of banks is where we've catastrophically gone wrong. Adam Scott, or whatever his name was, I think he's got all the maths wrong. I think it's all, and they knew it at the time, but it's now spiraled out of control, and countries own trillions and trillions, and it's just unmanageable now.
Yeah, I mean,
don't forget Christ, who is a revolutionary, threw the money changers, the money lenders, out of the temple. Yeah, and we didn't learn that.
Explain that story to me, Viv, because I hear that a lot, and it's because I'm not a Christian, because I haven't followed any of those. I don't know specifically what that's about. I just know that Jesus came in to the bazaar and turned over all the bazaars. So was he? So please, explain to me, what was he fighting against, or what was he saying was wrong? Sorry, specifically.
On the surface, he's saying that you don't mix God with mammon. So the two gods, you know, the God and the God of money, mammon, don't mix. You mix them. So in a holy place, there shouldn't be this thing about money. But the churches have never really followed that. You know, you've had tithe systems where peasants would give 1/10 of their crops to the church. That's why in you go around medieval villages and there's a big old barn. You think, oh, that's lovely. That's where the church put the 10% of the crops they took from the peasants. So it's about mixing God with mammon. God is not supposed to be based on money. Money's a human creation. But on a wider aspect, it's sort of on a wider level, you can take it out, because the Bible is about symbols. There's a lot of symbols, parables. It is an attack on money lending as well, which is essentially, in the modern form, is interest, and it's not only interest, but it's also debt.
Right.
Yeah, it's usury, isn't it? I mean, wasn't it the money lenders? It was the money lenders in the temple, is that right? Or he came in, he just overturned the tables and flipped the tables. Yeah, it's usury, isn't it? Usury, is that the word?
Yeah,
the whole
I mean, that's one of the reasons Jews were Yeah, that's why Jewish people were re-invited back at the time, because Jewish folk merchants, they were able to they were able to charge interest. This is and other monetary tricks. That's why they've got a bad name in some circles. But that's an old thing, you know. You know, Christ wanted to change this, but you know, also balance the whole. You know, balance the thing with when he said, "Pay to Caesar what is Caesar's, pay to God what is God's." So he's trying to separate the man created things from the God created things, which is, you know, I mean, it's amazing in the Bible. It's amazing in the Bible when you read that he's on the side of the poor. It's pretty unusual.
This does bring to me this whole concept that we've all heard of, and nobody really seems to know much about, this Nasara Jasara, which gets spoken about. This whole reevaluation thing. Now, I've never really put much, you know, I've come really kind of put much credence into it, but I wonder if there might be something to that. I don't know.
Nasara Jasara is about giving people money. It's people say, "Oh, it's all there for you. It's waiting. It'll be released to your bank account." Well, I know what they're talking about, but this seems to me to be a bit of a fantasy, you know. And bring them in. We know that they trade on every contract we enter into, which is absolutely everything. They put money into their account, which is in them, so they're living off us. Okay, and the idea is we can free up the trust funds that they're keeping and just give everyone the money that they're owed, but we're not exactly owed this money. We have to get it ourselves. We have to do it all ourselves, I think.
Yeah, well, we're not owed it, but it is our money, effectively. Not something that's owed to us, just ours that we have been denied access to and denied knowledge of, for the most part.
Knowledge. You can get access to it. You can get access to it.
Yeah.
The big problem with the Nasara Jasara thing is that they exactly what you two have just said about us getting all the money and stuff, but that's why it can't be true, because if you understand basic mathematics, if you just give everyone £1 million, it doesn't solve problems. Everything just goes up by £1 million because now everyone's got more buying power, and there's still it's hard for me to explain. But when you've got three cups and 4 people buying, when you've got 3 cups and 4 people buying, that's what dictates the price of the cup. If you just give those people all more money, all it does is they pay more for those 3 cups. That's all it does. So right from the offset, I said I had massive arguments with people on Truth Social, the early times of meeting you guys. There was one particular guy, I forget what his name was, but he was wholeheartedly into the Nasara Jasara. And I said, look, just think about it, mate. Just giving everyone £1 million does not it doesn't change anything.
No, it just devalues everything.
No.
Everything becomes worthless. And
that's right.
But I mean, maybe it's not that simple. Maybe you're playing devil's advocate here. Maybe it's because you're still thinking of it in the terms of the current financial system. But the rules will change of the whole system. You know, maybe money won't be the issue if things change. So kind of like thinking about it in that way may not really apply, or may not mean the same thing, if you understand what I mean.
Pound note clearly states that the bearer will be paid on demand the sum of whatever the value of that piece of paper is, £10, £20, whatever.
Yeah, it's a
symbolic.
Note.
It's a promissory note. It's a symbolic It's a symbolic representation of money. Yeah. It isn't money. It's not money itself as such.
No. It's
I was trying to explain this to someone. A banknote is just an IOU, and in my humble opinion, the problem with money is interest. Interest doesn't have a mathematical. You can't say there's no way to explain interest. Interest is just a thing that you add on to stuff, and people dictate what that might be. If you take away interest, gold goes, or the value of something goes back to a transient, a thing that's in your hand. I think that's all that, personally, in a very simplistic view, I think all that needs to happen is we need to ban the idea of interest. If you do that, Bronze makes some corn. I need corn. I make cabinets. I give him 2 cabinets for his corn. That's all bartering, or money started off to be. When it was before banks, that's all we did. We exchanged my talent for your talent, and we all survived. Now it's banks make the most money on the interest, and it's the interest that's the problem, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, the problem with interest is it doesn't exist. That's the thing, because money is printed by whoever it is. The central bank prints it. Okay, say like the government goes to the Bank of England and says, "Oh, we need so many millions for XYZ. We need you to print it," and the bank says, "Okay, we'll print it," and then they give it to the government with interest, and that's the way it's always been. So whenever money is actually printed, it's created with interest. So there's always more debt than there is money, and that debt can never be paid back because it doesn't exist. It's been created on top of the money which has been printed.
It's a sword hanging over people's neck that will never be cut until it's removed, I suppose.
Yeah, it just needs to be done away with, done completely. Have you guys? This kind of also brings to mind the whole thing about BRICS as well. BRICS, this whole BRICS financial system, which seems to be kind of. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, it seems to be kind of created as an opposition to the American dollar. And obviously Trump is completely against that. He's looking to keep the dollar and supposedly keep the dollar, and so there's going to be an interesting thing going on there as well. And BRICS is still expanding. There's still more countries joining it as well. So I wonder how that's going to affect things as well.
Yeah, the American dollar has always been the reserve currency. It's said that if China divests from the dollar and get moved to another reserve currency, the American financial system will be in serious trouble. Don't know. This whole thing is very complicated. It's very, very complicated. I'm reminded of Nick Leeson with derivatives when he was done for derivative trading. And the boss of the derivative department, or maybe one of the big honchos in Barings Bank, was asked about derivatives, and he said, I don't really understand it myself.
Yeah.
What more do you need to know? Yeah, but that brought down the Barings Bank, didn't it? That completely destroyed that bank.
Plenty of others out there. I'm thinking of getting an account with Tally. I'm seriously thinking of getting an account with Tally.
Oh, that's a gold bank, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the gold-based bank. Yeah, I mean, because people I know, mates I know, have actually made money from a bank, which is astonishing. They've looked into their bank account, and their deposit has gone up by 200 quid. I think, what the hell? And that's because it's based on the price of gold. Okay, up or down. Yeah, Tally, Tally, Tally.
Right. I'll look into that.
Yeah. It's worth chucking if you've got a spare. Not many people have, but a spare few hundred quid. Then just chuck it in, leave it.
Yeah, that's a good thing to look into. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm thinking of changing my bank anyway.
Just to remind everyone, we're not financial advisors. Just in case that comes up.
Yeah. Word. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a proud amateur, but
Yeah, we've been stuck on America. There's been a lot going on in this country. PMQs was quite fiery, very fiery, and there was a point. The only point that I'll mention from PMQs was that at one point, Reform UK stood up to ask a question, and you hear it a lot. Actually, it's quite a commonplace. They all start talking, so you can't actually hear, or they start going stupid noises, don't they? And it was getting to the point where you really couldn't understand a word that was getting said. And I think it was, it was one of the Reform people that just suddenly said,
It was Farage.
"Will you
it was
shut
Farage.
up?"
Yeah, it was
Was it?
Farage. When
Was it?
Farage was
I didn't know it was.
and everyone was just
It's
talking
quite an
over him.
uncouth
Yeah,
thing to do in our parliament. So I just thought that was worthy of mentioning, because that's quite an uncouth thing to do.
well, I think what one thing which has passed this last week was the anniversary of the 7/7 London bombings in July 5th. And it is quite telling that all the usual talking heads came out and gave their empty platitudes and this, that, and the other. But only one person mentioned Islamic terrorism. Farage didn't mention it. Khan didn't mention it. None of them mentioned it. They mentioned terrorism, but they didn't mention Islamic terrorism. The only person who I noticed who did was Kemi Badenoch, the Tory leader. She was the only one who actually mentioned Islamic terrorism, which I thought, if Farage didn't even mention it, I mean, Farage is a lost cause now. I think the guy, I don't know what he's doing. I really don't know. He's just completely lost the plot as far as I'm concerned. To all his initial promise is now he's just throwing it away. I mean, he actually, I believe he actually came out and said reform is moving further to the left than the Conservatives.
That's it.
I mean, what a thing to say. I mean, I don't know. They must be losing so many members.
Yeah, they must be. And the Conservatives have pretty much moved to the globalist left anyway, or the progressive, so-called progressive woke left.
Yeah, they're liberals. The Conservatives are liberals.
Yeah. I mean, they've always had a liberal strand. They've always had a liberal strand, of course. We know that. There's always been a split, one nation stories, etc., versus liberal.
I don't understand this aversion to a proper right-wing party in this country. Everything seems to be just moving or wanting to move to the left. And I don't understand it. It's like everything is moving kind of like to the liberal left now, and has been doing for the last 20 odd years. Pretty much
because
since Thatcher's time.
The left doesn't really exist. Not as the old school left, the party of the working classes. Improve the common man, so-called,
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of a proper sort of old school conservative right wing, standing up for this country, protecting our borders, looking after the people, financially quite competent in terms of it. That's just all gone. Nobody's interested in occupying that place anymore. It's really weird. Really weird.
No, it's progressive has taken over. Essentially at the heart of it, Conservatives are supposed to conserve, to keep the things that are good. Maybe throw out the things that are bad, but keep the things that have worked, that have stood the test of time.
Well, I would say the majority of this country are probably now more right than any of the major political parties. In terms of maybe small c Conservatives. I mean, you obviously have the blocks, the northern towns, which are tribally Labour, tribally left wing. But I would say that most people just really, really are crying out for something to oppose all of this liberal woke nonsense that they all seem to be gravitating towards. The media is a big part of the problem as well. Even the the mainstream media. So it's really odd, which also makes me think that elections are not legit, because I think if people really wanted to vote for something like that, and if they did, then surely we'd have a better government than now.
Yeah, but it's not about making things better. It's about making things worse. They believe in what they're doing, but they believe that people are stupid. They believe that we're just children to be led. That all the parties think that now. They think that given the imprimatur of simple votes, even if they get one person who's, 10 people are voting, 6 people voted for the party, then there we go. That's an overwhelming majority. That's a landslide, and they've got the ability to do what the hell they want.
Yeah, I mean, the concerning thing is, said Viv, they think that people are stupid and easily led, and you kind of have to agree that there's a lot of people who are like that by the looks of things. Bread and circuses, give them their entertainment and whatever, and we can just control them. We can just lead them down the garden path.
But that's their mistake that they've made. Not everyone is like that. They think like that. But yes, of course, there's some, but it's not the whole.
Yeah,
and people are.
People are becoming aware of it now because things are becoming so. But is it enough? Is it happening soon enough? The question we've lost quite time past is the movement happening quickly enough? By some other shiny object that they put in front of us, or Epstein. Are we going to be distracted by stuff like that? So on, so forth.
Yeah.
But sorry, I did mention the 7/7 bombings there, and I did put up a where was I? I think I put up a thing about. I mean, it's kind of a bit conspiratorial. I can't vouch for it, but there is speculation that was an inside job as well, allegedly.
Yeah,
and there is a documentary or two around that you can watch about it, and it's not you can't really say, oh yeah, that's absolutely true, but it does raise a few questions which do kind of require some thought, I think. And there are some similarities to what went on that day, with some similarities to what happened on 9/11 as well, which is very interesting in terms of certain things that the establishment were doing on the day, and a lot of loose ends which don't tie up. So yeah, there's definitely questions to be asked about that, I think.
You can't tell me that they can find someone who said hurty words. They can search around. They can find all kinds of things. We're so surveilled, so looked over. So you can't tell me that the security forces aren't aware of shit that's going down, to put it crudely.
No. Well, yeah. I suppose I better not get into it, but apparently those who were accused of doing the bombings were actually assets. They were actually working for the security services, and they were used as patsies.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
None of this surprises me. No.
That's the scary thing. Is I don't trust any of them anymore. I just don't know what to believe. And when you're in that situation, it's a very dangerous place to be, because I can't trust the news. I can't trust this. I can't trust that. It's very soul destroying, isn't it?
Well, it is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, it was under the Blair government time, and he was desperately looking for support for all the military action in the Middle East at the time. We know about the what was the guy who was found dead, who released that report. I can't remember now. But all about the weapons of mass destruction,
David.
David's whatever his name was. He was mysteriously found dead very soon after. The whole thing about weapons of mass destruction that supposedly Saddam Hussein definitely had, and it turned out no, he didn't have them at all. So yeah, it's all there's so many facets to that whole situation. Just like
sorry, man.
No, so I was just going to say, just like 9/11 to the Patriot Act, and also basically got the whole country behind them sending troops over to the Middle East again. Same deal, the same thing. The Patriot Act, which probably imposed more restrictions upon American citizens than anything else that it achieved, under the name of terrorism. We got to protect against terrorism, but it was actually more restrictive, taking more civil liberties away from American citizens at the end of the day, giving them more control.
It's funny how this legislation comes out, and it's quite long. The Patriot Act is a big old book. It suddenly appears, though, quite shortly after. So you're telling me that they just wrote it in a few weeks? Is that
Exactly.
right, or what?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to go back to the 7/7 atrocities, from my point of view, blessed are they that mourn, for their emphasis. So I want the people that for no reason. I mean, the terrorists who did this shared a similar view with the government, which is that human lives are expendable. The government have waged a war on the people for many, many years. They regard us as expendable pawns in the game, as cows in the field to be milked to support their lifestyle, to bring in money. We're little more than cash cows, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So in that sense, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if it's the government doing it, if it's independent terrorists, if it's controlled terrorists. It doesn't really matter. The government themselves are terrorists and people smugglers and criminals.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly. I was just talking about a novel. Talk about a novel I just read. A science fiction novel.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, right.
The government care deeply for us. God, heaven forbid.
Yeah. as if. Yeah. Yeah.
Too many people in this country who think that the government cares for them.
I know, it's shocking, isn't it? I know. I trust the government and the media, and it's. But anyway, I wonder what Ronnie Barker said about all this mess.
Yeah, what would Ronnie say?
I don't know. He'd probably come up with some word salad, some funny word salad.
I spent the weekend. I'm sure I spent the weekend watching some of his stuff, and I'd had some things lined up that I wanted to play, but my internet's playing up. I'm barely able to talk to you guys, so I'm not going to do that stuff. But wow, I'd forgotten all the different sort of sketches. Those kind of, and it's very. Were they influenced by Monty Python? Because it's very. Or no, Monty Python would have came after them. Sorry. So was Monty Python?
No, it's before. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
well, because their sketches are very Monty Python-esque.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean Monty Python's influence was far-reaching, but let's not forget that Ronnie Barker. He was before he became sort of a national TV sort of celebrity on British TV, like you mentioned last week, Viv. He was working in the industry for years in the 50s and 60s, and so were all the he used to work with John Cleese on the Frost Report. He used to work with Eric Idle and Graham Chapman as writers, and it was all very kind of like incestuous in terms of that whole group. They all knew each other, they worked with each other, so yeah, there must have been some sort of cross-pollination there for sure, in terms of the humor and the influence.
Yeah, you can certainly tell they were all from each other. Very great stuff. But I was going to say, mainly I was the two Ronnies, and this idea again, it comes back to British comedy. We love to just see people that look silly, and I got on thinking about the amount of double acts that we have. That's either there's a short guy and a big guy, or a fat guy and a thin guy, and it's very much a Laurel and Hardy. They stick to that rule that if it looks funny, it's going to add to the comedy. And I love all of their little skits. They did a lot of where they play posh people at a dinner party, and it's all very, very one of them is the dumbass and one of them is the clever guy, and they swap it quite often. But there's still that visual comedy that one's very, very small, very, very overpowering and big, and yet they swap the roles on who's dominant, who's not dominant. I love that British comedy, this visual extravaganza that you get added to the joke.
Yeah, I mean, it's a staple comedy thing, you know, it's like the contrast, isn't it? And it's not just British comedy. You can go back to people like Abbott and Costello, who are a similar type of thing. You know, you had sort of Bud Abbott, who was kind of like the taller, straight guy. Then you had Abbott and Costello, and then you had Lou Costello, who was kind of the fat clown, you know, the idiot, and they just always played off against each other. So that has been, like I say, Laurel and Hardy, it's just been a staple kind of mechanism in comedy, I think, for forever, effectively. But yeah, British comedy, we've always had those. We had like Morecambe Rise, Cannon and Ball, to name just two sort of double acts along those lines.
The Crankies are always the weirdest couple, actually.
Oh, one. Oh, no. yeah.
No one ever knows what to say when you mention the Crankies. It's always a conversation stopper. No one knows what to say.
Well, I remember. Getting sidetracked.
Oh God. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say about the Crankies, getting sidetracked from Ronnie Barker. But the first time I ever saw them, I thought they were really funny because it was she Jeanette, right, was played this schoolboy, a little schoolboy, and he and the other guy. But when I actually found out that they were actually husband and wife, that floored me. That was like, I couldn't believe it. They were actually married.
They were brilliant when you were a kid.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, they were brilliant when you didn't know the truth. That was what it was. Once your innocence was taken, they became not funny anymore. Yeah.
But I think it's kind of fair enough. You know, it's fair enough that they were married. I don't think there's anything sinister in it. She's just a little woman, you know.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's what I find really funny these days about the Crankies is how Nicola Sturgeon is always called Jimmy Cranky because she really does look like her. Yeah. She must hate that. She must absolutely hate that. But that is so fun.
I really hope she doesn't go home and cry over that. I really hope she doesn't find any badness in that. That would be terrible.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not one iota, not one fibre of my being hopes that. But yeah, so did you check out any apart from two Ronnies, did you check out any Project All Hours or anything like that? Did you go back and look at any of those?
I watched an episode. I had planned on doing both. I watched an episode of Open All Hours, but I got stuck on the two Ronnies. I was watching just all these different little 5-second skits or 5-minute skits, and as I say, a lot of them were posh dinner party things, and I was obviously in some taking the mickey out of posh and poor people. I don't know, but it was. I watched about an hour of different little freaking skits of theirs, but yeah, I was going to. Yeah, they're definitely wordsmiths. They love playing on the English language as well.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah.
I mean, I've got a DVD box set that was bought for me years ago of Porridge of the whole lot, and I dug it out and I started watching through it again, and it is just so good. It's just so good. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
How many seasons? So you've got the whole thing. How many seasons are there, mate?
There's 3 seasons and 2 Christmas specials, and they also made a feature length. No, I'll tell you what I'll do if you want. Next time we meet up, I can lend it to you, and you can binge watch the whole lot. Yeah, because it's the business. It is. It's so good. But yeah, and I think they did a movie. They made a movie which wasn't, you know, as these things tend to be, wasn't so good. But then they did a spin-off after Porridge called Going Straight, when Fletcher he does his time in prison and then he comes out and it's his kind of it's his life back in you know, civilian life, you know, going straight, which was okay, but it wasn't as good as Porridge, nowhere near as good. And then of course Richard Beckinsale, who played Godber, had a heart attack and died, unfortunately, very young, because he was in both of those. So
And in Rising Damp, he was in
Rising Damp is great. Yeah, that was another classic. And also his daughter, Kate Beckinsale, was a big film star now.
Action hero or heroine or whatever you call them.
Yeah, she played those. Was it in that trilogy? Those kind of vampire trilogies. What was it? Van Helsing. She was in that, I think. Those movies.
Yeah,
but yeah, and she's. I'll tell you what, she's easy on the eye. She's not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Rising Damp was another one. That was. Sorry, go on.
It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Rising Damp. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that Ronnie Barker, well, the two Ronnies, they did a lot of subversive comedy as well. A lot of things they said, like this joke. There was a fire at the Land Revenue Office in London, but it was put out before any serious good was done.
Yeah. I was good. Yeah, what was it? There was this. And again, I think it's from 1978. I think it was. This is one of the ones that I had lined up to play, and it's them two talking about, ironically, about how you shouldn't have Mr. and Mrs. and how it be that and them. Oh, not that it should be, but they had this wordsmith play on not saying Mr. and Mrs. And I suddenly thought, freaking hell, was this the early stages of that stuff even?
Yeah, that was Ronnie Barker, and he was dressed up. Half of him was dressed up. One half of him was dressed as a man, another half dressed as a woman. And,
well remembered. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I think he posted it recently. I saw that. And he's making all these jokes. Everyone needs to be changed to person, like personhold. We call manholes personholes now, and all of this sort of, everything resurfaced recently about all this gender nonsense they were doing back in the 70s. But obviously then it was lighthearted, whereas now it's actually people are taking it seriously.
Again, proving that we did accept it. We did play around with all this stuff 50 odd years ago. These youngsters think they've created the world and they've made all these new things up. Bullshit, did you? We were talking about these things decades and decades ago, youngsters.
Yeah, I mean, there was always, even in Bridges, gay character, Luke Ward, played by Christopher Biggins, and there were kind of drag artists back in the 70s, Danny LaRue, there was, all of these type of people. We had in Ain't Half Hot Mum, you had Gloria, Melvin Hayes played Gloria, who kind of was dressed up.
Yeah.
Even in MASH, you had Klinger, who dressed up as a woman all the time. These things have been around for forever, this whole stuff. So
it goes back beyond Shakespeare. The female roles in Shakespeare were played by small or perhaps children, really, or young men. So of course, of course.
It's again, it adds to that comedy value, doesn't it? When I did Shakespeare, it was a bunch of squaddies, hairy ass squaddies, and I think one of the funniest plays we did was when we did A Midsummer's Night Dream, because big bolshy men dressed up as women playing all the different women in that play, and people would laugh just at us walking on stage. We hadn't even said or done anything, because it's just it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of entertainment as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is. It is comedy. That is exactly what it is. It's comedy. It's not reality. It's comedy. You're taking the piss. It's funny. It's not meant to be seriously.
I've got an Empire. I've got a British Empire joke from Ronnie Barker as well, which is a bit mental. But I went to a restaurant the other day called The Taste of the Raj. The waiter hit me with a stick and got me to build a complicated railway system.
What a weird joke. Love it.
Yeah, it's a mad one, isn't it? A mad one. Oh, crikey.
Oh, is it that time of the evening again?
Yeah, no.
I think
I'll do my best.
Yeah, I just invented a new game. I've just invented a new game, which I'm calling Silent Tennis. It's just like normal tennis, but without the racket.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
I'll laugh if no one else will.
I was at my art group today. This isn't the joke. The joke comes after this bit. I was at my art group today, and I said to the guys, "Look, I've got no jokes for the show tonight." So they all told a joke, and I've taken the best. I said it has to be a dad joke, it has to be a crap joke, and so this was the best joke that was told by my art group. A couple of them said they might listen, so if you're listening, you know who you were. But the joke was, why couldn't the teddy bear eat any more food?
No idea.
Because he was already stuffed.
Hey,
don't all laugh at the same time.
That's a proper dad joke, isn't it?
Yeah,
indeed.
It is. Indeed. Yeah. Did you know? I got myself a new. Oh, go on, Viv. Go on. No, you first. After you, sir.
Oh, all right. This is sort of suitably following an ex-squad East joke. Two goldfish are in a tank. One says to the other, "Do you know how to do this thing?"
Viv,
you're recycling.
You have the memory. No, you have the memory of a goldfish, I'm sure, because 4D told that joke.
I told that before. Oh, did he? Oh my god! Oh god, I'm getting worried. Oh no!
Oh. Anyway, yeah. I got a new pen that can write underwater. It can write other words too.
What kind of shoes did toads wear? Sorry. What? Oh damn! No, start again. What kind of shoes do frogs wear?
Oh, I don't know.
Open-toed sandals.
Yeah, I really love the word plethora. It means a lot to me.
That's a Ronnie Barker joke.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
It's
not really a dad joke.
It could have been.
It's not really.
No. I mean, I just this whole memory. My memory is really not what it's used to be. It's true. My memory is not what it used to be. It's true.
I've just built an ATM that only gives out coins. I don't know why no one else has thought of it. It just makes sense to me.
Yeah. For our American listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my wife was doing her makeup, right, and I told her she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She turned around. She looked really surprised. Anyway,
there we go on that sad note.
Yeah, I think we've inflicted enough pain once again. Listen, guys. I mean, I think we're all feeling a little bit down at the moment. We're all feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
So let's try and chin up. Let's try not to let it get to you. Try not to get sucked into the noise. Keep yourself well. Keep your spirits up. However you can.
Yeah, well said.
And apologies to anyone listening if this has been a bit.
The thing is, the hardest tea to swallow is reality.
Yeah.
Oi, that's good. That is good.
Monge 2, gentlemen. Monge 2.
Yeah, Monge 2. Monge 2.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, mate. You too.
Yeah, chin up, guys. Yeah,
good.
It's not the end of the world.
I've got a holiday in August if you want to visit. So I'll let you know. don't know. I've been just thinking about whether the world is indeed a simulation. How would we know what the hell,